Welcome to Rise, Healer, Rise, the podcast where your transformative journey as a healer takes flight. We're here to guide you on a sacred path of embracing your essence and transforming your sensitivity into strength. Are you a healer, an empath, a creative soul, or a leader who has a deep desire to share your gifts and create an abundant life that honors the beauty of our earth? In a world that's calling out for healing, your unique gifts are more needed than ever. But how do healers, creative souls, and leaders of our new earth maintain their spiritual connection while navigating the material realm? The answer lies within you, and I believe in your power to rise up and navigate the challenges that lie ahead. The key to unlocking your full potential lies in sharing your healing tools, and just by doing this, you invoke divine right protection. Inside this podcast, we explore nature-based methods to clear trauma, cultivate sacred essence, and share your gifts to create a significant impact and thrive as a modern-day healer. Join me, Sarah Estelle, your host, flower essence expert, high priestess and business guide, for content that soothes your soul and sparks inspiration. At full moon, we welcome a special guest to impart their wisdom. Together, we rise, heal and transform. So embrace your essence. Honor the abundance of Gaia. You are source. You are limitless. The world awaits your light. Rise, healer, rise. Today I'm very excited to welcome Eva van Strien to the Rise, Healer, Rise podcast. Eva is a trans-disciplinary designer, researcher and innovator. Eva's work bridges design, science and indigenous knowledge and is driven by a deep love for our earth. She's introducing a new holistic and conscious design approach embedded in traditional ecological knowledge and the teachings of the wise natural world. Her work is very frequency and sacred geometry based, aiming to regenerate our inner and outer ecosystems. Eva likes to quote Nikola Tesla, who said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." I'm excited to talk to you, Eva, and welcome to the Rise, Healer, Rise podcast. So welcome, Eva. It's a real blessing to have you here today with me and for us to be able to share some of your work with many, many people. So we met through the world of flower and vibrational essences. So I know some of your journey and what you're creating, but it's, and I'll just say on a very personal level, I've always wanted to work with women who are taking this knowledge, this wisdom that nature gives us out into the wider world. So thank you so much for doing that. It's very, very powerful. So could you tell us just a little bit about how you began on this journey? How did you become a woman who wanted to work with nature?
I think this goes back to my childhood. I grew up with a family who lived on boats. They were shippers in a national park in the Netherlands. So I was almost all the time submerged in the beautiful flora and fauna of the Dutch National Park. And I think via my grandparents, they instilled in me and my sister this bigger knowledge and way of living in close relationship and very much in reciprocity with the natural world and our natural environment. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm.
This was your grandparents that introduced you to it.
Yeah, they were really, really very much living the old ways. So my grandmother and my mother used to always cook with medicinal foods, always. She always had her own vegetable garden when they lived on the land, so not on the ships. And for example, both of my grandfathers, because it was from both my grandparents who lived on boats, um, they had this deep knowledge of navigating with the stars and the water and reading the different states of the water and the sky and to
Wow.
predict the weather. And so this was to me very exciting to be part of this.
Absolutely. Wow. I didn't know that in detail either. So you're the next modern day version of their knowledge, which is amazing. Yeah. Um, so how did you first, so you are a multidisciplinary designer, researcher, and innovator. So tell us a little bit about what that means and how this has come, how that knowledge that your grandparents brought you to is now evolving through your work. Tell us a little bit about so everybody understands.
Yeah, so I'm specialized very much in traditional ecological knowledge, I think, because this was my way of living from a very young age. Then I must say, in my teens, I lost my way a bit, and then I found my way back again. Um, but in my work, yeah, so I translate this traditional knowledge or indigenous wisdom, I must say, into concepts we can use today and implementing these ancient wise ways into our inward and onward journey. Yeah, for I believe this is the only way into a healthy future, really. Yeah, and I think this profound wisdom or knowledge really holds the key to restore our relationship, not only with ourselves, deep within, but also with each other, our natural environment, and our more than human kin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Because it's a collaborative work, this, isn't it? And that
Exactly.
most likely the reason we first met, because we collaborate with nature. They are beautiful partnerships to have. So I know today you would like to share with all of our listeners two projects that you have been working on that are wonderful examples, if you like, of this. So I'm going to hand right over to you for you to share your work and to inspire everybody.
Thank you. So my project, Harmonizing Hydroglyphs, was from late 2024. This actually emerged or came to me, I must say, the very first idea via Pink Orchid and Magenta, nearing the end of the diploma, the Flower Essence and Vibrational Diploma I took with you. So this is what it is I went to the most wild places of Europe, several places to record wild water flows. And I built my own simoscope at home so I could transform these sounds into the actual visible geometrical patterns that they are, because they're actually living vortices, as I see it myself. And to apply these geometrical shapes, these living vortices to dead water, we see that, or I have found that this dead water will become alive again and it becomes structured again. So by imprinting this dead water with this frequency of the living water, we can restore or regenerate water systems. And I've presented this work last year at the Dutch Design Week. It's a very big international design event I presented it for a lot of big water boards as well. So I hope this is something that will be implemented. I hope someday soon. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, as we were saying before we began recording, this work is pretty much ahead of the curve, but I think lots of people understand it already, and it's part of it, isn't it? It's the remembering. It's the
Exactly.
remembering all of this, and
Exactly.
there isn't anything fancy often we need. It is the remembering. So, would you be able to explain, because some people might not know this, what structured water is and why the water that we get via our taps, for example, we don't drink our tap water here, but even out of bottles is not structured or may not be structured?
Hmm. Yeah. So how I see it is that the living water, as it flows in nature, you can envision a little stream, and the water goes from rock to rock. You know, it flows just in a very natural shape. It's when the water hits a little rock, for example, it makes a turn, so it creates a vortex. You can see it as the Fibonacci spiral, and when it does that, this is the way the universe and everything in it is constructed, really. So it's all vortices, it's all spirals. It moves in spirals. Every living system does, and water does as well. And when water moves in this natural way, um, it can regenerate itself. It's yeah, so it cleans itself, um, and it's a very healthy thing for us to drink as well. But if we drink tap water or bottled water, for example, um, yeah, the water from our tap, it goes into straight lines and straight curves. You know, water is not naturally designed to move that way, so it becomes a very dead water. Yeah, I don't know really how to
Yeah,
explain it more easily, but and then it will be very much influenceable with, for example, chemicals, pesticides, and it all sticks to the water because it cannot regenerate itself because it doesn't move in its original form.
really clear, really, really clear. So already the straight lines of the pipes and all the ways the water is fed reduces its vibration. I'm just making sure I understand. And because the vibration is reduced, all of the lower vibrational beings are there.
To it, yeah, and it's just not vital anymore.
Yeah,
So if we drink this non-vital, this dead water, yeah, you can imagine what happens to our cells as well, you know, because it's just a resonant frequency.
absolutely. Yeah, that's powerful. So, is there any way that listeners could begin to create structured living water for themselves? What would you recommend?
There are very easy ways. You can use, there are very cheap solutions for, you don't have to buy fancy, expensive water systems. There's if you just make sure you have this Fibonacci shape, which can be, there is like a little um, with a system where you have two bottles and you have this little screw tab thingy in between, which has the Fibonacci shape. It will create this vortex itself.
Okay.
I have this little piece on my tab, and it's this Fibonacci shape inside. It's just a shell, a porcelain shell in the shape of Fibonacci, which create this vortex when the water comes out of my tap. But on my main tap, where the water comes into my home, I have this energetic. water regenerator. That energetic, it's a big bowl which has a lot of very strong magnets, and it creates this vortex as well.
Wow. So is this part of what you are presenting to the organizations of the world so that it can help others?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm trying to. It's not always easy, but
No, but someone's got to begin.
yeah. Well, it's not always easy. I mean, most of the time it's not easy. But yeah, this is my mission, and yeah, I must do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And again, a big part of my own value system that we all have one of these missions, and people can't see me, but it's like we have to keep our blinkers on like horses because there'll be a lot of people that will try to take us off our path. So yeah. So fully supporting you, Ava, very fully supporting you. So it's called Harmonizing Hydroglyphs.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
and are there references to this on your website?
Well, I must say I'm in the process of updating my website at the moment, so it's not there yet, but it is on. I am sharing it on my Instagram as well.
Okay, so we'll give everybody all of this information so that they can follow you along for when this all opens itself up.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah. So it just reminds me a little bit, and this is just a personal share. A couple of months ago, I was with some friends here near where I live in southwest France, and we were doing something else. And all of a sudden, we realized that there was a forest beyond the place we were. And if you went down the slope where the forest was, it was a beautiful forest. It was like one that was very untouched. Um, there was a stream down there. And I went down there with the friend that I was with. And as often essence people like us had, I had my essence making equipment with me, which was, a little bowl and a bottle. And there was this little stream, and there was all these rocks, and there was all these amazing dragonflies, beautiful indigo colored dragonflies, which are very common, I think, in an untouched environments like that. And I placed the bowl on a rock, and the water just like played around it. So I'm really seeing that that's what you were talking about, of the water, because it wasn't deep. It was just a it's quite shallow stream, full of rocks and so natural and so beautiful. Yeah. So it felt like a really beautiful example of what you were just talking about. But of course, your work is actually then taking that energetic and making it something that we can use in the everyday.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, actually, those dragonflies, if you see them, if there are a lot of dragonflies with the around or above the water, it means that it's very healthy
Yes,
and clean water.
absolutely. It felt like that. Yeah. So, yeah, so it's just all signs for people to watch out because we need to relearn. We do know this because it feels good to be in these places.
Yes,
But if we actually place, you know, the modern science around it, it really, really helps people to understand why they're drawn to these things. Okay, so that was one of your projects. You have another one that I'm sure everybody's going to love hearing about as well.
yeah. Well, I'm working at it right now. It's something we spoke about earlier when we met in France, and is it has everything to do with frequency medicine. Um, so it's basically what I like to do in my work is actually Mary Oliver in one of her poems. It's called "The Instructions for Living a Life." She says, "Pay attention, be astonished, and tell about it." So that's what I like my work to be, as a visual storytelling of these profound invisibles that make our lives possible. And so what I'm doing in this project, it's called The Taste of Sound. Um, I've co-created with a local glass blower these big glass chambers. And in these chambers, there's bacteria that make our world edible and also different strands of mycelium. And I immerse them in specific soundscapes and frequencies, and I monitor how their behavior changes in specific frequencies. So I would very much like this to be the starting point of a new discussion about frequency medicine. And for example, even antibiotics, if we know that bacteria will respond to sounds, this could be, I mean, I think there's endless possibilities with frequency medicine.
So how would you like this to move out into the world? What would be your ideal version of that moving out into the world?
I always envision this frequency hospital, where we have these amazing medicines based on frequencies, whether it's sound, whether it's flower essences, because it's basically it all comes down to this frequency. To heal not only our inner ecosystems but our outer ecosystems as well. Mm-hmm. That's what I would love to see in this world.
And so we've been talking about the inner and outer ecosystems. Could you explain to everybody what that looks like for modern day people?
Yeah, well, we're basically, how I see it, so much percent of us is water, and so much percent, a big percentage of us is bacteria, living bacteria as well. So our microbiome is just basically the same as an ecosystem. We see it outside, but it's just contained in our human form. That's how I see it. So I think it's not that different. I mean, if we talk about regenerating ecosystems, I think we have to start with our own ecosystem within, right?
And what does that look like as a modern day? If people are listening and thinking, I understand what she's saying, but how do I start to change my inner ecosystem? How would we know when it wasn't performing at its optimum?
Yeah, well, I mean, we live in this Western world, it's very difficult because our systems are constantly bombarded with all kinds of toxic pollution, like toxic frequencies, Wi-Fi, all those kinds of things, and pesticides, all sorts of harmful substances, basically. So I think what's most important is to keep your own vibration as high as possible. And I learned to do that via your diploma. And using flower essences, I think, is such a profound and also very ancient way, because for me, it's ancient knowledge as well, to do that and to keep your energetic system and our waters within. It's basically how I see it. It's basically my project, Harmonizing Hydroglyphs, but then for our own inner waters. If we generate our inner waters, I would say, using flower essences can change so much. It can totally regenerate our whole system. I have experienced this myself during your diploma in those 2 years.
Yeah, that's lovely to hear. Yeah, and of course I had the privilege of witnessing this as well. But so what we're really talking about is our feelings, our beliefs. So the feeling piece of us, which is a very normal piece of being human, but also that outer piece of that is our beliefs, isn't it? Because if we believe that something is like this, which is what we're all moving through on the planet right now, isn't it? Is this possible? Can this be? And it's kind of the place you're holding with us here is like, I know that this can work. Now, my role is to help people believe it's possible.
Exactly. Yeah, because I was just talking about all these physical substances, maybe the harmful substances, but I think those are the most harmful substances, most harmful frequencies if we have negative beliefs. And the whole negative narrative that's been playing out in the world right now as well.
Yeah, yeah. And that's going to be in the water. Not
Mm-hmm.
wanting to go too much down two big rabbit holes here, but essentially, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is extraordinary. We could go deeper and deeper and deeper, but I think
Yeah.
people can, take those journeys in the ways that they wish to.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah, so wow, it's very powerful, Eva. I'm really, really inspired myself by what you're sharing. Um, if people listening right now, if there was one thing you wanted to leave them with as we start to finish our conversation here, what would you like that to be? What do you feel is the energy that you would love to pass on? If you could put it into a sentence or a few sentences, what would that be?
Mm, I think all the knowledge, all the wisdom we need is already within us. So we are the well, we are the source. I think it's just a matter of remembering, as we just talked about, because I believe it's all this ancient wisdom. It's been given um, to all these our ancestors, right? But in our time, this lineage, that I think there's a there's maybe a broken lineage, or the it stopped flowing freely, so to say. So I think for our generations, it's very important to remember those old ways and this old wisdom, because that's what we need on our inward and onward journey, I believe.
Mhm.
And I think to help with that greatly are the flower essences as a way of frequency. Uh, yeah, remembering of our cell memory, because it's still within us. It doesn't go away. I mean, it's still within us. We just have to reactivate it, I think.
Absolutely. Just like you're doing with the water, reactivating it. That's what,
Exactly.
isn't it?
It's very simple. I don't think it's a big difficult secret, or you have to buy or do very big or difficult stuff, or expensive stuff. Even though I think it's not about that. I think it's actually very, very simple in that sense.
It's the piece that we resist the most, isn't it? It's like it's like everything. It's free. our,
Exactly.
our inner evolution is free,
Yeah.
but it's the piece that you and I both know, and many others will know. It's like we all have these big resistances to becoming the most amazing version of ourselves. And the ego starts chiming up, going, "Who do you think you are?" and all of the things. Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm. Well, thank you so much, Ava. What a beautiful conversation. I know that lots and lots of people are going to be very inspired by your work. So that we can all follow on how this evolves for you until we have our next discussion, which I would love to do a little bit further down the road, so you can share how this is evolving. How can everybody find out about you and get in contact with you if they'd like to?
Yeah, sure. Via my website, it's www.evavanstrien.nl, which the website is currently being updated, and via my Instagram. which is just, my account is just under my name. It's just Eva van Strien.
Okay, well, we'll pop this information to the show notes so people can easily find their links. Thank you, Eva. What a beautiful conversation. Thank you for all the amazing work that you're doing. And I know when we first met several years ago, you were already doing this, and now it feels like your inner world has been strengthened, and you're moving it out there now in more confident ways, which is beautiful. And the future is going to be amazing for you, I have no doubt.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really nice, as always. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Eva. Thank you, and thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I want to remind you that your journey is a sacred one. You are not alone on this path of transformation. I, Sarah Estelle, and all of the Nature Kingdom are here with you, holding space for your growth and celebrating each step you take towards embracing your true essence. If you love today's content, leave us a review on your favorite podcast listening platform and share your biggest takeaway. And do visit the show notes of this episode, where you'll find extra resources to support you. Also, come and join our Rise Healer Rise community on Facebook and be part of a rising wave of healers who are empowered change makers. And make sure you subscribe to this podcast and never miss an episode. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, may you always remember, you are the healer the world has been waiting for. Rise, healer, rise.